A kingdom's prince gets mysteriously possessed by a water demon, and a brave girl is tasked with keeping him safe. Will the prince succumb to the evil around him, or will the brave girl fight off all enemies? Let's find out, as today, on Anime Recaps, we will be covering the first 4 episodes of the series Moribito, Guardian of the Spirit. We open up with a young female spear wielder, Balsa, gazing at a village named Yogo to get her spear serviced. She starts her journey on foot to the village and soon arrives at her destination. As soon as she enters Yogo, she experiences peace and calm in her surroundings. She then continues her way towards the market of the village. On her way, a man asks her about where she's from and becomes surprised to find out that she is a female warrior and is there to get her spear repaired. The man then tells Balsa that she will get all the services she needs, but only if she has money. Hearing this, Balsa replies that the one who has money lives life in a monotonous manner, but the one who does not have money has to adjust their life according to their surroundings and circumstances, and that she knows how to do it. After some time, when Balsa is crossing a wooden bridge, the man asks her to stop and show some respect to the imperial family traveling past the nearby bridge. Balsa takes a look at the imperial group, but decides to continue her journey, as she is not from there and does not owe anything to them. However, as she moves a bit further, she notices the bull pulling the imperial cart behaving strangely and causing chaos on the bridge. Soon, the bull becomes out of control, and as a result, the imperial cart crashes to the side and a person falls into the high current river. Being the brave warrior that she is, Balsa doesn't think twice before deciding to save the person. She immediately takes out her spear and throws it on a tree, tying a rope around it. Holding the rope, she jumps into the river and starts searching for the royal member. After a while, she eventually rescues the man, who turns out to be the prince of the state, Chagum. Moments later, Balsa brings Chagum out of the water and tries to press his chest to bring out the excess water from his body. However, she is stopped by the imperial soldiers, who inform her that looking directly into the eye of an imperial family member is considered taboo in their place. Hearing this, Balsa collects her rope and spear and walks away from there. On the other hand, a young man named Tanda can be seen inquiring with 2 orphaned children, Toya and Saya, about Balsa. Before walking away, Tanda requests the children to inform him if they get any information about Balsa. Later at night, Balsa can be seen enjoying her dinner at a restaurant. At the same time, she notices some soldiers searching for the warrior who saved the prince earlier that day. Seeing this, she leaves her meal and tries to run away from there, but ultimately gets caught by the soldiers. When the soldiers ask her about the spear and where she got it from, a fight ensues between them. With Balsa fighting with great speed and skill, the soldiers realize that she is the one who saved the prince, and all of them bow in front of her. Following this, one of the soldiers informs Balsa that the Second Empress of the state has asked to bring her to the palace. In the next scene, Balsa enjoys a lavish dinner in the palace. Right then, one of the palace workers welcomes her and provides her with a pouch containing the reward for saving the prince's life. He also informs her that the empress wants her to spend the night in the palace. At first, Balsa refuses the offer, but when the worker insists, she reluctantly agrees. After she finishes having dinner, Balsa is brought to her room to spend the night. Later, when she tries to sleep, the Second Empress enters the room with her son, Prince Chagum. As soon as she enters, she bows to Balsa, showing respect for her bravery in saving the prince. During their conversation, the Second Empress tells Balsa that she knows everything about her life and that she is a bodyguard who has already saved different lives with her skills. She then mentions that Chagum has been possessed by some evil spirits for 2 months now and is behaving strangely since then. She also states that after the emperor came to know of this, he ordered the prince's assassination, and the prince has managed to survive a few of them already. Following this, the Second Empress offers Balsa a box full of jewels and asks her to be the bodyguard of Chagum. At first, Balsa refuses the offer, but when the empress insists, she agrees. Balsa then asks one of the soldiers present there to fill some jewels into her pouch and confirms to take care of Chagum. With this, she orders the soldiers to put the prince's bedchamber on fire as a distraction and runs away from the palace along with Chagum. In the next scene, Balsa reaches far away from the palace and takes takes a rest at a corner. During this time, she tells Prince Chagam that he needs to believe in her and should follow her instructions to remain alive. She also promises that if he obeys her and does accordingly, she will definitely unite him with his mother one day. After a while, they continue their journey out of the village, trying to remain unnoticed. When Chagam gets tired after walking a fair distance, Balsa carries him on her back and asks him to take a nap. Meanwhile, the master star diviners, the ones who have knowledge of astrology and horoscopes, Hibitanen and his pupil, Shuga, discuss the recent incidents about Prince Chagam and determine that Chagam is under the influence of a wicked water spirit. After discussing this, Hibitanen tells Shuga that he is well aware of the Second Empress sending Chagam with a female bodyguard who saved his life earlier. He also mentions that he, along with the Emperor, has already sent 4 secret hunters to find the prince and assassinate Balsa. In the following scene, Balsa arrives at Toya's residence and brings Chagam inside. She then asks Chagam to take some rest and sends Toya and Seiya to buy some groceries for her, along with some warm clothes and a horse. Without asking why, Seiya and Toya take some money from Balsa and head towards the market. There, they buy all the items that Balsa mentioned in the list. But when Toya approaches a horse, a strange man comes near him and mentions that he is spending way too much money and that he will need a horse to cross the Blue Mountains. Hearing this, Toya immediately runs away from there and arrives home. He tells everything to Balsa about the strange man and what he said. As soon as Balsa hears this, she realizes that someone is looking for her and Chagam. She then orders Toya and Seiya to leave their place, as they will also get into trouble if someone finds that they let her stay at their residence. Balsa then provides some more money to Toya and apologizes for the inconvenience. After some time, Balsa and Chagam can be seen walking towards the mountains, while Balsa asks him if he is tired or hungry. Right then, the 4 secret hunters arrive there and start chasing the two. Balsa learns that the secret hunters are pursuing her and Chagam, and she is left with no alternative but to fight with them. She suggests that Chagam keep running for the trees while she stops the hunters from capturing him. Following this, she engages in a fierce battle with the goons and manages to injure their commander badly. But unfortunately, amidst the fight, her spear gets broken, and she is struck with one of the weapons thrown at her by the hunters. With this, she runs towards the forest while Chagam is still hiding behind a tree. After Balsa runs away, the hunters decide that one of them, after some time, Chagam gets spotted by one of the hunters and is captured. Meanwhile, the other hunter cannot find Balsa inside the forest and returns empty-handed. With Chagam in their possession, the hunters decide to return to the palace, but believe that Balsa will definitely come after them. Elsewhere, Toya and Seiya assume that Balsa is in trouble and decide to ask for help from Tanda. Together, the two wait outside the restaurant, which Tanda visits twice daily to check on any new medication orders. On the other hand, when one of the hunters is about to kill Chagam on his own, Balsa arrives in the nick of time. She immediately eliminates the hunter and saves Chagam. Following this, when the duo continues their journey, a heavily injured Balsa cannot walk anymore and falls to the ground. Left with no other options, she provides Chagam with the location of Tanda's home in the mountains and asks him to be careful while approaching him. Following Balsa's instructions, Chagam successfully finds Tanda and informs him about Balsa's critical condition. Hearing this, Tanda rushes to the place where Balsa is lying, carries her on his back, and brings her to his residence to start her treatment. In the next scene, the Emperor is informed that the secret hunter's attempt to capture Chagam has failed, and that Balsa has successfully taken him away. He is also told that Balsa single-handedly defeated the hunters. Following this, Hibitanen brings Shuga in front of the Emperor and tells him that Shuga is a trusted pupil and will now work for him. The Emperor immediately accepts the proposal and decides to send more of his men to find Balsa and capture Prince Chagam. On the other hand, an ancient magic weaver named Torogai defeats Hayoku and Rai, 2 warriors who were also sent by the Emperor. After defeating the warriors, she writes to the star diviners to warn them of an impending drought and offers her assistance in averting it. Elsewhere, after the meeting with the Emperor, Shuga and Hibitanen return to their chamber, where Hibitanen is presented with the message that Torogai sent him. Through the message, Hibitanen gets to know about the impending drought and that Torogai is willing to help. Knowing this, Shuga suggests they team up with Toragai and find out about the water demon that is possessing the prince. However, Hibitonen dislikes the proposal and he yells at Shuga. He also instructs Shuga to visit the holy chambers and decipher the writings on the antiquated stone scrolls created by magic weavers that could be related to the water spirit. In the following scene, Balsa can be seen being cared for by Tanda with his advanced medicines and herbs. Moments later, Toya and Seiya also arrive there and notify him about Balsa's condition and how she got tied up with Chagam. Just then, Balsa wakes up and apologizes to Tanda for giving him a lot of trouble. She then tells Tanda to help him and make her better as soon as possible. Tanda tells her that her body needs a lot of time to recover and also promises that he will protect Chagam if anyone comes after him. Right then, Balsa tells Tanda about why the Emperor wants to kill Chagam and asks Tanda to examine him. Following this, Tanda comes closer to Chagam and runs his hands on his belly to examine what's inside of him. Suddenly, a light glows within Chagam's stomach, and Tanda is shocked. He then tells that Toragai is the only one who can find out about what is possessing Chagam and extract it. Balsa is then put to rest after changing her bandages. Later, while the group is having some food, Chagam mentions that he never got the chance to have such tasty food in his palace. At the same time, the entrance door opens, and Toragai slowly enters the room. She eats some food and turns towards Chagam. As soon as she looks at him, she gets surprised and yells that Chagam possesses an egg of the water spirit inside his stomach and is now the chosen guardian of the egg.